The following segment is sponsored by Eastern Title and Settlement and the Mortgage Link. Going into Labor Day weekend, the real estate top performers have advice on waterfront properties. We all want them. I'm joined by Robin Cavallaro, who is an associate broker at Robin Cavallaro Group of RE/MAX 100, Men Hugh of Eastern Title and Settlement, along with Senior Loan Officer Carey Riel of the Mortgage Link. Welcome to all of you. Good to have you, Robin. Men, good to see you. Carey, you got our deal of the day, right?
Got your deal of the day. Yeah, I just want to focus on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Rates are still great. You know, everybody's complaining about it being so high, but you can still get under 6%, 5.99% with 2.25 with an APR of 6.233, and that's on a purchase or refinance with 70% loan to value. This scenario is based on a loan amount of $518,000 with a 760 credit score. So give us a phone call. Also, we've got our QR code up there, so if you want to know the value of your home, just go ahead and put that into your cell phone and it'll give you an update. Since you don't
free valuation, right?
Free valuation,
okay.
Automated valuation. It'll keep track of the value of your home, your equity, and you can take a stab at what you want to do with your property.
Easy enough, easy enough, right?
Good
I mean, we think about Labor Day, Robin.
Yeah.
Many of us could go to the beach. We want to be on the lake. It's the end of summer. But when it comes to waterfront properties, are those a good idea, a good investment?
Always, always.
Okay.
But you have to know what you want. And, you know, so you have to know your budget, which is where Carey comes into play. You have to know, do you want to put in a pier? Do you actually want to see the water? Do you want to be able to turn it into a short-term rental? And there's so many instances that go along with it that then I rely on men to run the title search to find out, do you own all the way to the water? Do you have water rights, or does an HOA or the county own the strip between your land and the water?
I always just assumed you just own the whole property, right?
Not always.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, and are there easements, and there's all kinds of stuff that pops up. Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's absolutely. I mean, of course, if you that's what you get to look out at, be close to, smell the water, feel the water. Are there restrictions on building on waterfront?
Yes. So you're in what's called critical area. And you have X amount of your property that has to be non-impervious and parts that have to be impervious. And that means how much rainwater can go directly into the ground. So you can't overbuild. So, and then also with that, it comes along with, you know, you can't clear the trees that are there on the property. So unless you have the budget of Dan Schneider, which we all remember him cutting down all of his trees.
Oh, yeah.
You get fined heavily for every tree you cut down. It's like, sorry,
Let's
Dan.
not
we
go
don't,
there.
It's like, sorry, Dan, we don't miss you. But
It's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, exactly.
but that's a huge fine if you cut down a tree without a permit. And a lot of our waterfront, you can't see the water.
Okay.
Something that Robin's great about, you know, we always try to bring folks on here that have some added valuation. And, you know, her clients, the purchases that have been made, some stuff has come up where people purchase a property thinking they do certain things, they buy the house, and they find out later they're unable to, like, you know, putting in a dock. Men ran into that situation.
You know, first lake house that we bought it with the intent of building a deck or a boat ramp out, but apparently come to know that there's a buffer strip, and you have to go through DNR to get a permit to build over there, and then there's water depth that's required to have in order for you to build a dock up here. You know, so
I feel like too, and depending, and you may not think about it if you've never owned waterfront property, but like how far a dock has to go out if you're on a bay or something, just because where the channel is.
Well, so and to get into it too, if you're on the bay, you may not be able to put a pier out there.
Right.
If it doesn't exist already, you got to deal sometimes with DNR, Army Corps of Engineers, the state, the county, critical area, the city, depending on the area you're in. There are so many steps you have to go through that you can't just assume, I own up to the water, I can add a pier.
Right.
Well, which is where a team comes in that can get all those answers so you have no surprises. Because you want it's your dream home, right? You want to
bring up questions you may not have thought about.
Right.
You know, what do you want in the end game with regards to this property? You know, here's what you can and can't do with it, and the cost you can expect if you want to do that stuff.
You mentioned too, Robin, real quick before we go, the rental. I mean, people think you buy waterfront, this would be a great Airbnb.
Not necessarily. There are certain areas you can't rent it out for less than 30 days. And there are certain HOAs, like we were talking about the other night, that they're voting now to ban short-term rentals. So you have to look at the zoning, you have to look at the HOA rules, and
Right.
you have to be prepared that you may not, it may be short term for you to be able to rent it out.
We want you to enjoy this waterfront home, have no surprises, but this is why the team is here to find all those answers for you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Robin,
you.
great to have you
It
on the
was
show.
nice to see you again.
You too. The deal of the day is back on the screen, so for more information, you just call 833-MTG-LINK or visit the mtglink.com to take advantage. Also, be sure to follow the Real Estate Top Performers on YouTube. There you can get advice on buying and selling a home in today's market.